What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar, what the news is saying about the markets, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin to all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So anyways, let's talk about what's going on with the markets, talk about what's going on with all these different stocks and the news affecting the markets. Right now, SPY is currently up about 0.74%. Tesla's up about 1.8% as the market is trying to push during the pre-market as we had some decent data that came out. But the question is, will the market keep holding? What are some important levels to be watched for when it comes to resistance? And will we see a lot of these bear flags end up playing out for the charts? So I'll be breaking down some levels to watch for and what's going on in just a few minutes. Let's first talk about some data and etc. So an hour before open, this is about 24 minutes ago, we had some important numbers that came out. The GDP numbers, were very close to expectations at 4.9%. That's the GDP growth rate. And then we had initial jobless claims at 205,000, a little bit lower than what the expectation was. And the market took this in a very positive manner. Once again, this is just like fueling the soft landing narrative. And besides that, most other economic pieces of data were very close to expectations, from GDP sales quarter over quarter to corporate profits. So far, decent data overall. The market has bounced off this data. I want to remind you all that we have more data coming out, especially at 11 and 11:30 a.m. So at 11, during the hour of the 11s, basically, we have the Kansas Fed Composite Index, then we have the 4-week and 8-week bill auctions. That's pretty much it when it comes to major pieces of data. So we'll be watching to see how this affects the market as well. So at around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, watch and see how we see volatility increase. Watch that very, very carefully. Now, when it comes to news affecting the markets, I'm going to be very brief with this. The rally we saw did fizzle a bit after we saw a decline. This was led by FedEx, which played somewhat of a role. There was negative news involving China. There's also like all these other things going on around the world, not to mention algorithms and market makers all coming together. All these different factors are what caused the market to sell off the way it did. But other investors are saying that it was more technical than fundamental. So that is also a very big sign for how the market may shift going into the end of the year. There was some big news that also came out as Warner Bros. Held an early merge talks with Paramount Global. We'll see what happens with this. There's a possible deal that could be outlined, but we'll see what happens as well. We don't have everything yet. Citigroup is closing another business as a part of an overhaul of the bank, so it's some negative news for them. That business employed about 40 people, so there's some negative news, but it's not that insane. There's a big year for labor unions and pilots. American, United, and Delta finalized a $1 billion deal set earlier this year that gave aviators double-digit pay hikes, which is once again good news for them. I do want to note that this is going to have a different effect on these airlines, but it goes back and forth between them. But if anything, when you hear about news like this, if these unions get what they want, hopefully this could lead to less protests and etc. Retail investors are putting more money than ever into Tesla, according to research that's been done recently. That's very, very important as we're seeing buyers stepping in. And with that happening with Tesla's disruptive technology, many people are not just like major investors, but also retail are seeing the potential in Tesla's long-term future. So that's decent news too. Now let's just talk about the charts. What on earth is going on? So on SPY, I just want to note that on the 30 minutes time frame at 471.7, we have some resistance, which is what we're testing right now. That's going to be at the 30 minutes 50 EMA. If we break that resistance, we could get very close to 472. If we break above that, we could get very close to where this imbalance happens to be, very close to about 473. Those are some resistance levels. Now, overall, when it comes to the pattern on SPY right now, we're kind of forming this flag right here, this bear flag. So we're going to be watching to see if we can invalidate this or not, but this is kind of like the channel we're in. We're kind of like stuck going back and forth like this, right? Something very similar to this. And we're going to be watching, okay? Do we maintain this flag for the time being, or do we end up just like attempting to do so and we just fail as time goes on? If we get a break below this white trend line right here, that's going to be a very bearish case, and we're going to be falling back down to 470. If we lose 470, okay, that's going to be your like really bearish signal. Then we're going to come down to fill this gap all the way into the 468. So we have a gap that's unfilled now, way down here during the pre-market. We're going to see a big rug pull back down towards like 467, if anything. If we lose 467, we turn super bearish, all right? And we're going to see even more selling. All right, so just to clarify, we have this flag that's from this channel, which we're going to be watching for the volatility to remain in. If we get a break below this, watch 470 is a key support. If this fails us, that's like the first bearish signal. That's like level 1 bearish. And to become much more bearish, you want to lose 467. Okay, so make sure you watch those supports. We might see a break to the downside, but I'm not going to count on it yet. Let's just see if we get that break for now before we start to like short very hard, because we have to just wait and see, right? That's one of the most important things about trading. Sometimes you just have to wait, let the chart pan out. Let's see if sellers step in and they still cause us to lose this support, and then there's going to be more opportunity from there. All right, so make sure you watch that carefully. QQQ is the same essentially. It's very, very similar, if anything. We're going to be watching to see if the QQQ maintains this pattern. Are we going to see the QQQ kind of like attempt to push up like this, come back down to 407, and try to slowly break this 408 resistance or so? Are we going to see something like this? Or are we about to break from this white trend line? So we have this trend line below here, right? Are we about to get that break from this flag and make our way back down towards 405.9? If we end up breaking down, we get a big rug pull on the QQQ and we lose this trend line, that's when I would turn bearish. We have 405.7, excuse me, guys, 405.7. If we lose that support, QQQ is going to sink all the way down towards like 404 and even lower levels than that. So we're going to be watching this support very carefully. I'm going to mark this with a different color. Watch that 405.7 support. If we lose that, there's going to be a bigger rug pull, okay? So watch this channel. Let's see how this thing tries to hold. It might hold for, an hour. It might just not hold for very long. We'll just see once we break this trend line right here. If it breaks, expect this thing to start falling like this. Watch the 405.7 area. Break there, we're going to turn bearish. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in this channel. So those are the two possibilities. On Nvidia, I'm seeing something very similar essentially developing. We have this channel as well. This is forming a flag on Nvidia. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. Nvidia might just maintain this channel, attempt to go higher towards 490. That's going to be our next resistance. And above that, we have like 492, 495, and etc. But if we get a break below this white trend line, see this trend line, we break below this, watch 488 on Nvidia. If we lose that, our next support is going to be 485. We have to try to hold 485, because if we lose this 485 support right here, if we lose this major support right here, Nvidia is going to come down to fill the gap. We're going to see a big drop back down towards 482 or even below that. So we're going to turn really bearish if we lose 485, in my opinion. So I'm going to make that the blue line, you guys see, that's going to be our key support. So watch and see if we get this break to the downside. If we lose 485, we're going to be sinking much lower. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just saying just wait and see if we get that break. And for now, we have this channel to be maintaining. So we'll see if this channel holds for now. But there is a risk of this potentially playing out, especially as we have a gap below. So be very careful, guys. Maybe Nvidia doesn't even pump that much. Maybe it just barely goes higher and it just starts breaking down, immediately. But I just wanted to go over these hypothetical examples just to show you what I'm going to be looking for as a trader. And always remember to be very patient in a market like this. Very, very patient. As far as Tesla goes, same thing. And this is the same setup essentially. We have another potential flag forming on it. It is uptrending very nicely. We're now getting above our resistance at this 252 area. But Tesla is going to be in a very critical state, because if Tesla does attempt to rebound slowly, like this, the issue is if we do want to break out this yellow trend line, the historical support I've been showing you guys on this channel for quite some time. This goes back many, many months, almost a year on Tesla, this yellow trend line of support. This is going to become resistance now. If Tesla wants to become bullish, you need to break back above the yellow trend line of resistance. We have to try to get back above this 256 area. If Tesla could achieve that, it is going to turn bullish. Okay, that's the bullish case for Tesla. Now, we also have this channel, which we're going to be watching for this flag. As of right now, Tesla's kind of stuck in this channel. It might maintain this channel. But if you want to be bearish, you want to see it basically lose not only 252, but 250 is going to be a key support as well. If we lose 250, Tesla will come down to fill the gap, and it's going to basically retest 247, even below that. So that's the more bearish case, right? So just to be clear, and there's a reason why I'm going over both the bullish and bearish cases, just to clarify this, to make this easy for people to understand. If you want to be a bull on Tesla, you need to see it get above 256, get back above this yellow trend line, this thing can start pushing again. In my opinion, it's going to likely fail, and I think the odds favor this kind of like this flag playing out and us breaking back down. But just to be safe, I marked this support over here. I'm going to actually make this, let's change the color to like green. Hopefully green is noticeable. You guys can see that little green line right there. That's going to be our key support for today. If we lose 250, this thing is going to be sinking right back down to much lower levels like 247 or beyond. There's a bear flag forming, so the odds do favor Tesla breaking down soon. So just to be safe, watch and see if we get the breakdown, and make sure you watch it before you turn to bearish. So watch and see first, right? That's the most important thing in trading. Aapl has the same information essentially. I just want to mention that Aapl will likely continue to shuffle like this. It could even push a little bit in this channel. We're going to be looking for a break right over here of this trend line. If we get that break, you want to see if Aapl ends up losing support at 190, 195.5-ish, 195.6-ish, like around there. If we lose it, expect this thing to start sinking back down towards the 194s. Okay, so we're going to be watching the support around 195.6, this wick right over here. Lose that, Apple's going to turn bearish. As right now, we have this channel to watch for. It's going to respect this, but watch and see if we get a break. That's going to likely lead to downside. I do think there's a good chance of that happening, especially as we have like a head and shoulders like structure. But just to be safe, guys, I just want to give you guys that warning. All right, anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for listening. Hopefully this pre-market video was helpful for the people out there who are interested in trading and looking at the charts. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Make sure you watch your levels very carefully to see if we get some kind of break or not. And you be very patient in the market like this. Don't forget about your levels. Do what you have to do. And I'll see you guys very soon for the next intraday update video of the day. Thank you and peace out.